In the summer of 2022, I set out to make a documentary film about Bigfoot. The premise was simple. I was going to interview some interesting people, hear some fascinating and compelling stories, and put those stories on film. That was before a chance conversation would change my life forever. The story that you're about to see is true.
We have rocks thrown at us almost every hunt. We have tree knocks almost every hunt. We have a callback every hunt. So we're like, okay, it's when we see the movement, it's when we get excited.
So you guys are studying what you believe to be a habitation?
Absolutely.
David was right. It was a habitation. He invited me to see it for myself, and I couldn't resist. But I didn't know how entangled into this mystery I would become. The Squatch Watchers are a North Carolina-based Bigfoot investigation group. They have a popular YouTube channel with thousands of hours of footage. If what they were saying was true, and these creatures regularly interacted with them in a predictable way, it reminded me of the Sierra camp. Was it possible that these guys had tapped into something similar to what Ron and his friends had discovered so many years ago? I asked Ron if he wanted to come out and see it with me, and to my surprise, he did.
These trails used to be like 3 foot wide. He's widened everything out.
Yeah, he's widened them out.
Tree eggs. We'll find rocks on the base of trees, stuck in the middle of tree bees, just like that kind of bee. Smell it? Yeah, I smell it. Did you get that whiff? Hey, David. Did you get that whiff? That smell?
Yeah. I smelled it yesterday. Hey, what was that?
Ron and I had arrived on the property the night before. We smelled the smells that Taylor was talking about. They seemed to come and go without a source.
All the rocks are moved.
This one was not supposed to be there.
Look.
It's the potato from the cone.
The Squatch Watchers had what is known in the Bigfoot world as a gifting area. The potato in question here was left further down the trail, and someone or something brought it here.
All the rocks that you see here were brought and left here by what we believe are Bigfoot.
Started with the big one.
We've never. Now, we will rearrange them and see what they do, but it hasn't been touched in, what, 2 months, 3 months?
Hang on.
Why don't you change them just a little bit and see what happens tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, just alter them a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Let me get a shot of you doing that.
So, well, I'm actually going to just take this big one down for a minute. And we're going to...
That's a new one right there.
Yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of activity going on here. So I'm going to...
The quarter's still there?
They're down under there, so...
Don't make it where it could easily fall by itself, because we don't want it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when I do this, rain, wind, and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
so
thing that stood fire.
just put the potato back and see what happens.
Get it. Shut it in.
So we now have the gifting site regifted, and
I do smell
What time of
that.
the night was
Yeah.
this?
so
How would you describe it?
Smells like a wet dog or a wet horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I smell it.
It's like that putrid smell.
it'll come and go.
You know why they're not seen more often?
I want to hear your theory.
Well, you believe in energy and frequency and vibration and all that stuff. Well, matter and energy are interchangeable. Did you know that? That's physics. That's Einstein, Dr. Dirac established that in 1933. He got the Nobel Prize for the mathematical equation establishing matter and energy are interchangeable. It was proven by CERN in 2012 over in Switzerland. They changed particle into energy. So that, can they disappear if they're matter? And they can change into energy. If they have that frequency, they can change them into energy. That's how they cloak. That's how they get out of your vision.
Yeah.
That's why the trackways would stop. When people say, well, the trackway just stopped. Well, a regular researcher will think that's a phony.
Yeah.
You know, a helicopter must have picked it up or something.
Yeah.
No. If they disappear by cloaking, by changing their matter into energy, their density will stop and they won't leave a track anymore. So I think that's why a lot of people don't see them anymore. I don't see them as much as they should. They just get glimpses or a fuzzy picture or something.
Ron believes Bigfoot to be something more than just a relic hominid. He thinks they have an interdimensional, or for lack of a better term, spiritual component to them. The Squatch Watchers agreed with Ron, and as we toured the property and they told us of their encounters, they also told us of some very unusual events that occurred. Anomalous lights, UFOs, and other odd and unexplainable things. And yet, Bigfoot is physical. They do leave footprints.
What's crazy about it, yeah, because we hung a bottle, a little Coke bottle, up in a tree with 2 glow sticks. We were trying like just different experiences. And it was like on the other side, up top, about, I don't even want to give a guess.
So we're all really excited. So we get up there to where the Coke bottle is, Ron. It's gone.
We were walking the skeptics in and they were like, what's the big deal? Okay, your bottle's gone. There's 1 glow stick left in the tree. The bottle of Coke looked like it was just twisted to get busted open, so the thing, whatever it was, the bottle was twisted. A raccoon's not going to twist a bottle to get it out.
Well, it's almost like it took it and just kind of
and just sucked it vacuum packed dry. I mean, it was just crinkled, just vacuum sucked shut to nothing, and just dropped right there where it was found. So, you know, we're all excited, you know, yada, yada, yada. Whatever this thing took the Coke came diagonally through here. We were literally probably about an hour behind this thing. This is how fresh this was. Didn't realize how lucky we were. Over here is actually where it came off the bank.
and I happened to notice a really big tree limb. I mean, I'm talking like it takes some force to break it in half. Was broke on top. And I called David down. I was like, David, take a look at this with me, see if we can debunk this or whatever. I mean, we started looking at it. It was just, you know, snapped off like this, just hanging. And David looks up at it. He starts talking about it. And mid-sentence, he happens to look down.
It is a fucking break and a fucking print.
I told you it was a fucking break. Look at that son. And lo and behold, a perfect size Bigfoot print was just sitting there in the sand.
Over here is actually where it came off the bank. There's used to be a limb before the flood. You could see where it snapped the limb. And then it did one of these deals right here when it came off of this bank right here. It just landed. Perfect right foot.
So there was 2 feet, and they were
That way.
literally 50 feet behind. No, probably 80 feet behind the camera.
So you had 1 footprint here and 1 half print right there where it was just the toes and the pad of the foot. Yeah, because it just stepped right into the river and was gone. But it jumped off of that bank. But this is the area where the footprint was found, yes.
Yeah, we told him the story and we was trying to map out exactly. I thought it was in the right area, but couldn't see that.
Did you tell him about the necklace you found beside of it?
the glow stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the smashed Coke, yeah.
Yep, because that just, the necklace being dropped here, you know, literally through the woods would be about a mile, okay? To have to walk that, you'd be at least 3/4 of a mile, minimum. So, anyway, I just think that's cool.
There was one area of the property that David did not think was very cool.
This patch of property is about 1 acre. If I don't have to go on it, I don't want to go on it.
Later, I would discover why David had a bad feeling about that area. If ever there was a place that had an eerie feeling, it was that acre of land he was talking about. But he definitely piqued my curiosity. I felt if there was going to be any answers to our questions, it would probably be in there.
I mean, all I know is just for whatever reason, this particular spot
This is where you're getting the smells a lot.
It's just, it garners activity for some reason. I mean, I know it's not that far, but that's the only reason we stopped here. So
That's good enough reason.
yeah.
Y'all smell that?
Yep, there it comes.
I'm smiling. I can't help it, y'all.
That night, the Squatch Watchers took us to one of their favorite spots. It was in between their gifting site and the area that gave David Martin a bad vibe. It was an area that they had been experiencing a lot of activity. They said every time they came to this area, they would get rocks thrown at them, and we certainly smelled those phantom smells. Ron and I were out there the night before, not in this particular location, but just to acclimate ourselves to the property. Ron encouraged us to keep our cameras and our flashlights to a minimum. He believed the less we tried to exploit them, the better our chances of success.
Y'all heard that?
I can't tell if it was like something talking at a distance or if it's like a funny bark. I can't tell. It was off down this way. And clearly across the river.
Yeah, you heard that.
A rock had been thrown in the trail. It would be the first of many that night.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
One rock, okay?
Go ahead.
David said it was their custom to answer them back with a rock.
Where does that camera come on if you turn it off, or does it have a standby mode or anything?
It has a standby mode, yeah. You want me to turn it off?
Yeah, let's just kill it for a minute and just hang out.
All right.
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah, it ain't too hard about getting on.
If we hear something dramatic, nobody make a sound. Whenever you want to play those sounds also. Yeah. I think we'll give it a minute. Oh yeah.
Ron had told me that when he and Bill McDowell were recording the Sierra sounds, that the less they reacted, the better.
Yeah.
As crazy as it may sound, I think what I said about not reacting, these things took as a challenge, because less than 2 minutes later, a rock landed right behind me.
Did somebody throw that? Or kick something? Did somebody kick a rock?
That was thrown at us.
Okay. There's one finally. You hear the movement? Yeah. If you hear movement, point your mic in that direction.
I tried to find the culprit with my thermal camera, but the brush was so thick. Rhododendron on either side of the trail obstructed the view. But since I was there with Ron Morehead, I thought, let's try the Sierra sounds.
Well, let's see how that goes.
Right in this area? Yeah, I'm seeing shadow movement, but I mean, I can't swear to anything.
Point, David. I'm looking at you. I can see.
Yeah,
Point, David, where you're hearing it or seeing it. Point with your finger. I can see you.
Right, I'm sorry.
The area that David pointed to is the acre that he was afraid of. I walked down there to see if I could find a thermal signature. I did, but it was small, and based on its movement, it appeared to be a rat. At this point in the evening, it was getting late. Ron, Taylor, Tate, and Toby had to call it a night. But I talked David Martin into staying with me. I was still very curious about the spot that gave him a bad vibe, so I borrowed their night vision camera and went to see it for myself.
Now my head is splitting.
Right now?
I mean, so for me it's really serious. Now it may be nothing for you.
I'm not saying that, but I'm curious.
But you're welcome to my flashlight.
No, that's... So this is a game trail, right?
Well, something may be trail, we just don't know what.
David stayed back on the main trail while I walked into the place that made him sick. Right away, I noticed a fresh break and some deep indentions into the ground.
I don't know if you can see that. It's a deep indention, and it's a trail. It leads over here. And there is a brand new break. Trail that goes that way. It goes that way.
Oh, you know what? Here. I'm gonna shoot some of this on my phone. I can use my phone too. I forgot I got my phone in my pocket.
So that is a brand new break. See that? Could be a bear. Something stepped here. This way. Broke that stick. And kept going that way. This is right around the area we were getting activity earlier. Something's stirring some coyotes up right now. But that is definitely... This is a trail. And this is a trail. This is where Dave got sick. It does have an eerie feeling. It's very close to where we got activity tonight. Matter of fact, I don't feel so hot myself right now. But that could just be my imagination.
Later that evening, I finally spotted something on my thermal, and it was big.
All right, I'm rolling. Missed it.
We tried to get it to move, but the brush was too thick. The rocks never landed close.
Missed it by about, that was that.
We heard rustling in the distance, and we observed this thermal signature for quite a while, but it never moved. I didn't realize how far away we were, but now I know. We were looking at something in its den. If you like this content, please like and subscribe and share it with others. To see some of our videos unedited, check us out on Rumble. As always, Thank you for watching, my friends. Your support makes this possible.